Hey guys.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. How are y'all doing?
Doing great. Hey, Manny.
Judge. Like that little music we.
Love it. Love it.
What is that, Judge Fonseca?
That's the victory march for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Very good.
We thought you'd appreciate that, Judge. Judge, guys, sorry. This is Roman. I have two awesome guests with us today. One of them is right below me. His name is Judge Ismael Fonseca. Well, now there. Judge Fonseca is the judge from the 464th, running for the unexpired term of, well, sort of his, but not really, Judge. Sort of yours. And
Right.
I also have another friend of mine, Dylan George from San Antonio. He is an attorney up in San Antonio. Hey, Dylan, how are you doing?
Evening. Doing well.
Hi. And we also have Josh Peltier. He is with Cameron County Conservatives Facebook page. Hey, Josh.
Good evening, gentlemen. How are y'all?
Doing good. And we also have Manny, who is an undisclosed location, I believe, in Paris. That where you're at, right?
Okay.
That's where you're at. You're in Paris? You're in Paris?
That's fine with me. Yeah.
Okay. You're not in undisclosed location trying to investigate more about Amy Coney Barrett's children in Haiti or trying to do any of that extra stuff. Well, the reason I wanted, we're going to start off with talking about Amy, Judge Amy, who we love, Judge Fonseca, and I have Dylan also to talk about the legal stuff that's happening in the state. Some stuff that maybe Judge can't talk about because he's a judge. Judge, are you still excited about Judge Amy, your mentor?
I'm ecstatic. We actually had a watch party here at the house with the announcement on Saturday, and it's just amazing. You know, some people may not know that I graduated from Notre Dame, and she was my professor for 2 courses for civil procedure and evidence. And a lot of what I've done in my career and in the court has been, the foundation was laid by her. So I'm honored that I can say a Supreme Court justice laid the foundation for my legal career. And not only that, she's just an amazing person all around. She always made you feel that like you were the only person in the world. She just really listened to you. She was very kind, a woman of faith. She walked the walk. She talked the talk, walked the walk. She was amazing as a professor. I'm very, very glad to see she's gotten this far. She's very smart, and she's not. A lot of people are talking about how she'll rule. We don't know that. We're getting ahead of ourselves. But she is. Her philosophy is rooted in the Constitution. Reading it how it should be read, how it was written, not thinking of it as a living, breathing document where you can just put in read your feelings or whatever it is, whatever policy you'd like between the lines. So, I could keep going on and on about her.
Yeah, well, I'm surprised you didn't take any constitutional law classes with her. I'm a little surprised. Why did you choose her? You taught any when you were there, or any of those kinds of courses?
I just did. She was just not offering the course when I had to take it. So unfortunately, didn't have the con law class with her. But a lot of my friends did.
Cool. And Dylan, what are your thoughts on Judge Amy being the judge? I know you're an attorney up in San Antonio, hopefully having a successful practice. What are your thoughts on Judge Amy being the next notorious ACB? What are your thoughts on her?
I think it's a great pick. I know she was probably running a very close second behind Kavanaugh last time when he was put up instead. Everyone who knows her says the exact same thing, that she spends a lot of time working on friendships and building that trust between people, and that of course a lot is going to be made about her Catholic faith, and that unlike our current Democrat nominee and the Speaker of the House, she actually is a Catholic, is a practicing Catholic, and just doesn't just give it lip service whenever it becomes politically expedient. I'm ecstatic to find that we're having an originalist, and hopefully we don't get disappointed like we were in Roberts. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think she's a straight shooter, and we're going to get exactly what we expect, which is to have someone who actually looks at the Constitution as it is written and as it was intended, and not try to legislate from the bench, as far too many liberal-leaning judges and some disappointing conservative judges have done in the past. I think this is great.
You know, the differences between John Roberts is it fair to compare his Circuit Court of Appeals justice work, a judgeship work, I guess, being a judge, compared to Judge Amy being in a court? Would that be a fair? Could you compare the two of them to see how different they are? Because I'm hopefully Jeffrey Truman from CNN is correct that he'll become irrelevant on the court at this point. When now that Judge Amy will become Justice Amy.
I haven't done a complete autopsy of both of their appellate records, but from what I understand, she's done exactly and has written exactly and extensively on this issue about being glued to the Constitution as opposed to what we've seen in the past. So I think it's just, aside from the fact that people are now attacking her for her faith and her, it was just disgusting that they're now attacking her for adopting 2 children from Haiti, and now they're questioning the legality of such a thing. It means that they have nothing on which to attack her substantively.
As a professor, Judge, when she was in Notre Dame, when you were at Notre Dame, was she open about her faith at all in class? Is that how it works at Notre Dame, or not really? Are students close to their professors? I know I was an undergrad and graduate student. I was close to many of my professors. Is that the way kind of how she's a professor?
Right, and you know, in the classroom, she really didn't make an issue about it. She really just stuck to what it is that we had to get through. But it was outside of the classroom. It's Notre Dame Law School is a pretty small school. My class was 200 people. I don't think it's ever been over 200 people. So you have 3 classes. That's less than 600, maybe 500 people. That's a pretty small school. So, and if you wanted to, you could. He was very approachable. Very approachable. That was my experience with her. You can go and talk to her about anything, really. And there are a lot of stories that have been coming out in different mediums about how approachable she was. And she would go to mass with students as well. I mean, on church, on campus. So it wasn't rare to see her attending any religious service, whatever it may be. And I was very much involved with the St. Thomas More Society. I was a chaplain for the at the chapel there at the law school. So that's how I knew that she was a practicing Catholic.
And what are your thoughts on? I know the president came out today, did a press conference, upset about the New York Times going after her Catholicism and attacking Catholics. I don't think he did a very good job of explaining why he was so upset, because he can't seem to read from a script, which I think it would benefit him, especially today, to counter some of the things that Joe Biden was saying. And so I wasn't too happy about it. What are your thoughts, as a Catholic, as a judge, hearing the New York Times attacking your professor, your mentor?
Well, anybody that resorts to attacking faith really has nothing. I think, as Mr. George pointed out, they're really scraping the bottom of the barrel to try to find something that'll stick, and it's upsetting as a Catholic, because they're trying to say that Catholics need not apply. You'd think that we were back in the year 1920, not 2020, when people start bringing up the Catholic faith. and it being a bar to public service, because that's just not the case. Any person of faith, I think, in general, you probably want someone of faith to take these leadership positions, because if as as a judge myself, if you don't see something higher than yourself, if there's nothing higher than yourself, then you're ultimately the end all be all, and there's nothing to root you or to on which you can lay a foundation on. But anyways, I'm going off on a tangent there, but it's very disappointing to see. And I'd remind people that in the Constitution itself, it says that there is no religious test for holding office, and we need to remember that. We need to remember
there's like a Never Trump Republican judge, I believe, out of North Carolina, that posted that he was a little bit sick and tired of having judges be from one particular faith, being Catholicism, I guess, because I think 6 of the justices, or including Amy, are Catholic, right. And just having some sort of religious purity test, which I think is obscene, and this anti-Catholic bigotry needs to stop. And that's what I think the reason why Trump came out today to defend her, but I don't think he did a good job. Did anybody see his press conference today?
I did.
5. Yeah. A lot of people are probably watching the Cowboy game. I don't watch the Cowboy game. I heard they lost though. Sorry. Cruz. Oh wow. Welcome, Cruz. Cruz, did you get a chance to see the presser this afternoon?
No, sure didn't.
Oh, okay. Nobody got to see the press. Well, he didn't do a very good job. He went off on a tangent in typical fashion, went and attacked the press, and didn't do a decent job of answering the questions for the tax return. The one thing that the Democrats want, how they want to derail Amy, Judge ACB, notorious ACB, is by going after a particular statement she made about the Affordable Health Care Act. Have Judge or Dylan or anybody seen what exactly she wrote that makes all these Democrats so upset?
I don't remember exactly what she said. I don't know if Dylan knows, but I think she pretty much said that the Chief Justice pulled a fast one in his decision.
Yeah, I agree. The arguments on,
I think that's how she meant it.
Yeah, that's all I think that's how I agree. Hey, Claudia, how you doing? Hopefully you're still running. Oh, you're running late. I don't want to talk too much about Judge Jamie, but I think that's the big issue of the week. Will this be a game changer for President Trump's reelection? I don't know if you can comment on that, Judge. But Dylan, what are your thoughts? Josh, Cruz, either one? Anybody?
Certainly defeats the whole that he's a sexist, misogynist troll. Of course, this can't hurt him with evangelicals either. And if anybody had an issue with his bona fides on appointing conservative judges, not that I'm sure he wouldn't have any of those left, but this would certainly have done away with that.
There was an issue that happened I want to say last year, maybe 2018, with a Judge Rao being seated on the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals, where Senator Ted Cruz went after her, and so did Hawley out of Missouri, for having some sort of being a Federalist Society member, but also having more of a libertarian shtick where necessarily wouldn't. COVID-19. Okay, what was that? Whose music was that? Did we get spied on by somebody? That more of a libertarian philosophy. I don't know. Did I send you that link, Manny? I don't think I did send you that link. It was a political story with Judge Rao. Do you know Judge Rao at all? What that argument was at all, Dylan or Judge? No. Okay. Well, it seems like that they were putting their foot on the ground. We want social conservative justices. I guess they weren't necessarily too happy with some of the Federalist Society. You're a member of the Federalist Society, Judge Fonseca? You are?
I am.
What is the Federalist Society for those of us that are not familiar with that particular organization?
it's an organization of lawyers, of like-minded lawyers, mostly rooted that with a philosophy that's rooted on constitutionalism or originalism, and being loyal to what was written in the Constitution. It takes its name from the Federalist Papers. So it's basically an organization that puts on different events, CLEs for lawyers and judges. Some of our justices of the Supreme Court are frequent members, are frequent visitors to forums that are put on by the Federalist Society, and it's just an organization that tries to educate people about what it means to be an originalist and explain to people why we should be doing it that way instead of considering the Constitution a living, breathing document.
No, so I was trying to get the search for it. Well, what do you expect? Now we're going to have October 12th is when we're going to have them.
I'm Dana Perino, and this is the Fox News Rundown.
America is. Gee, I hate these autoplay things won't just stop. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. We're going to have October 12th as the first day for the hearings. We have a lot of senators who don't want to actually interview her. So hopefully, maybe it'll quicken the pace. What are your opinions? Do you think that the president should be able to nominate and get somebody on the bench before Election Day, or what are your all's thoughts? Anybody on the panel?
I think so, Roman. I think nobody wants to see a 4-4 court because that's just going to put the country in gridlock. I think most of the country wants to see somebody on the bench by Election Day or around Election Day. Also, I was going to say that, excuse me real fast. I think a lot of the senators, especially one running for vice president on the other side, doesn't want to probably be seen as what's the word? She'd rather be out campaigning rather than trying to do a nomination fight for the Supreme Court. Let's just put it that way. So I think at this point in time, the tide or the side of getting ACB nominated and confirmed is with the president.
Yeah. Anybody else?
The information that I'm getting on from the left circles is that they don't think they're going to win either the presidency or going to lose the majority in the Senate. So this is a tactic of fear of either one of those things happening, which is why they want to do it.
Can you say that again? I didn't quite understand. You're saying the left thinks that they think they're going to not be able to get the majority?
Correct. Or lose the presidency. So the Republicans are running scared, and that's why they're rushing this through.
Oh, okay. So they think that the Republicans are going to lose, not that they.
Right.
Okay.
Or that's the narrative they're trying to portray, Roman.
It
Correct.
seems like it. It seems fair. I mean, you had Nate Silver today with the polling saying that Trump is losing right now. What are your all's thoughts on the polls for President Trump and his ability to be able to win? Do you buy the poll? I'm going to ask Dylan since he probably hasn't commented on it. Dylan, what are your thoughts on the polls?
Yeah. They're about as useful as they were 4 years ago. Hillary was a 99% shoo-in on Election Day.
Mm-hmm. But why exactly?
And then,
Biden has shut down everything. He has put a lid on appearances 4 days this week alone. I don't think it's going to get any better in the future. I think things have gotten completely off the rails. Kamala Harris hasn't given a single press conference since she was nominated. Biden can't get through an interview even with James Corden on late night television without a teleprompter. The debate on Tuesday is going to be a complete nightmare for them.
I mean, you and I were debating. The Sochi's not with us, one of our frequent commenters. You were a debater. Do you really think that Donald Trump doesn't need to prepare for the debate on Tuesday?
Trump's going to be prepared. It's just how is he going to approach dealing with, how he deals with all the stuff that Biden's going to be throwing at him as much as he can. Because Biden's probably got 2 or 3 things to say on the 5 or 6 topics that Chris Wallace already said that he's going to talk about. If Biden's meds hold out long enough, or if what some people are theorizing is that they're trying to completely recalibrate his circadian rhythms so that he wakes up an hour before the debate, so that his sundowning doesn't start until 4 in the morning. Unless one of those things is true, then this is going to be an absolute nightmare for them. Because without a teleprompter and without an earpiece, he might last 30 minutes before he starts talking about how we have to keep the record player on so that the kids hear words.
Now, is that confirmed that they're not going to be using
here? They were fine for the first 30 to 45 minutes, but after that, it just devolved into a series of odd statements and him just getting lost in his own rhetoric.
But he did pretty decently debating Bernie when he was one-on-one, and they were even standing during that debate. So, do you think that? Yeah.
You know what happened in this short time? I think he's deteriorated in this short time. He's gone from where he was then to now. Yeah.
Noticeably, over the last 6 months, he's gotten so much worse because he was out on the campaign trail consistently before COVID, and then this has just gone. And I don't know.
You and I were debaters. You're also an attorney, Judge. I mean, do you think that the frequency of, I don't know how much you want to comment on the presidential race, because I don't want it to hurt you with Democrat voters, but talking from or an independent potentially in the Valley in Hidalgo County, frequency of being able to communicate and getting that rhythm, is that important for debaters, for lawyers? And if he's not getting that, do you think that will hurt Joe Biden in the debate on Tuesday?
I think it's important. I don't. As a litigator, once you stop going to the courthouse, I've been feeling it myself. How's it going to be when I'm back on the bench in the courtroom? Because you don't have that. It's not constant. You start losing I don't want to call it confidence, but you just don't feel like you're in your
zone.
On top of your game. I don't know. I can see it being affecting someone if you're not constantly doing it. So as a litigator before taking the bench, if I took too long before I'm in my next hearing, it will definitely affect me. But that's just me.
Yeah. And maybe that's why he's been doing the lids. They've been arguing lately. There was a contradictory statement whether or not he was practicing debate in debate camp, or whether he was not practicing in debate camp. There was contradictory statements on that. Do you think debate camp will be enough for somebody like him, especially at his advanced age? Y'all's experiences.
It wasn't a contradictory statement. He said he wasn't doing debate prep until a couple of days ago.
I know, but
everything that you get from his campaign staff, you can just toss out as it's CYA at this point.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Especially that young guy, Ducklow, I think his name is. He was on with Brett Baer a couple of weeks ago and could not answer a single question.
Yeah.
Just very basic questions, and he would just go off and, oh, no, that's just a right-wing conspiracy. So the whole thing, and also it goes even further back to the whole, is he getting tested? Because at one point he said, I'm getting tested all the time. And then he tells the one African-American reporter, why would I get tested? It's like asking you to take a drug test to see if you're taking cocaine.
Come on.
That's the kind of stuff that the lack of experience, the lack of any kind of interviews given by anybody who isn't just lobbing softballs at him for 45 minutes, he's not going to be able to contend with that. He had an option and the opportunity to do a Chris Wallace interview for a full hour. Wouldn't do it. Just said he's not available. So he's not taking, I think it's 11 days so far this month of lids to just do debate prep, because you can over prepare for debates. And he's had 47 years of experience in doing debates. If he were ready, he should be ready. This isn't getting ready. They want to keep him off the campaign trail because every time he does appear somewhere, he does something incredibly harmful to his own campaign.
Yeah, Cruz,
He makes some other statement, and now they're having to fight off the "you stupid bastards" comment to the military from 4 years ago. So every time he turns around, every time he's on television, he says something that gets him into trouble that the campaign then has to spend 3 or 4 days trying to walk back.
Yeah,
that's why they're keeping him in secret.
Makes sense. Cruz, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, there were three schools of thought on Rush Limbaugh last week. One is he's not going to show up, with whatever excuse they're going to come up with. The other, he's faking it, so he's going to show up and blow everybody away. And then the third is he's just going to melt. After, like you guys say, after 30 minutes, he's just going to melt away and
Well, I'm curious how Chris Wallace is going to handle this particular debate. In the past, are there going to be follow-up questions? Is it just going to be one question? You get 90 seconds rebuttal, and then here's the next question. Or are they going to be pointed questions that you're going to be able to in an interview style? Has anybody noticed what he's going to be, how these debates are going to be set up? Because if they're just going to be one question, 90, 30, and let's move on, it's not going to allow for that screw up for potentially for Joe Biden.
I think we have an hour and a half to fill up. That's not going to get it. There's only 5 or 6 subjects that they're going to talk about, so he's going to have to go more in depth. And that's the other thing I think that Trump's getting ready for, is to spend half his time dealing with whatever the question is, and the other half trying to bring out Biden's abysmal record over the 47 years, because he's had a chance to deal with every one of these subjects, and he hasn't done it.
Mm.
Chris Wallace is an anti-Trumper, so he is going to go after Trump. The question is, will he be a valid journalist and go after Biden just tough? If it's not Fox, they will not go after Biden. As a matter of fact, they'll try to probably help him out. And they're going to spin. If he's going to be able to put together a couple of sentences coherently, they're going to spin. See how great he was.
Yeah.
I'm
going to be. I'm interested in this debate. I'm afraid that the fact that Chris Wallace is going to be the first one that if Joe Biden does horribly, they'll just say, "Oh, well, it's Chris Wallace from Fox. Of course, he's going to do horrible," and just throw it aside. I'm also concerned about the lack of fact checking. I mean, today, Joe Biden came out and gave a speech and said that this was an unprecedented move by President Trump to nominate someone and the Republicans to confirm someone in an election year. This happened, 20-something times in our American history. This is not unprecedented, and you hear peep. You hear nothing from the mainstream media to correct it. Yeah, they're not going to. So that's what concerns me about the debate, that if there's contradictory statements made by Biden, they're not going to correct him. They'll just correct Trump, and he's just being, for all intents and purposes, a liar. Manny, you wanted to bring up one particular thing from the Secretary of State in Denver. What was it, in Colorado?
Oh, out of Colorado. Yeah, in fact, I put her on the ticker down there.
Okay.
What
was that story?
Yeah, I'm going to pop that up here in a second. She sent postcards out. Here we go. Encourages non-citizens and deceased to register to vote. And she sent postcards out to literally.
Do you have a copy of that? Does Breitbart have a copy of that postcard? I thought this only happened in Texas or the Valley.
That was my first thought.
My aunt that has been deceased for 14 years received a postcard from the Democrat Party urging her to vote, register to vote.
Lovely. That's how is that coming along? I'm curious, Cruz, and oh wow, that's it. That's it
right here.
Judge, and oh wow, that is crazy. Can you put Cruz a little bit bigger, Manny, so we can see what he's showing us? Because I can't see what he's showing us. Make him
put that up here real quick. Hold on, Cruz.
Sorry. Hey, what's on? Wow, what is this?
It's a postcard to my long deceased aunt.
Wow. Okay. Can you flip it around? What does it say on the other side?
addressed to my aunt.
Oh, don't post her address. We don't want to get banned by wow. And that is from the Democrat Party. Does it say who it's from?
You know, I got that. I got something similar. I got something similar in the mail, and it came from New Jersey. The postmark was from Jersey. It was a group, Mi Familia Vota. I think that's what I saw right there.
Has anybody done an investigation on them? Who they are?
No idea.
Wow.
I'm guessing they're out of state groups trying to get people to register to vote.
Wow. Well, we need to. Can you post something about that, Cruz, so we can share it on our page? Because I'm very fascinated by that. You know, I know in Hidalgo County, you're over in Bexar County, Dylan. Is Bexar County doing the same thing Hidalgo County is doing and sending out applications for mail ballots for people over the age of 65? Everybody?
Well, I haven't received one. Individuals. So who knows? And of course, it doesn't even sound like this is from Hidalgo County. It sounds like some.
No, it isn't. But the thing is, in Hidalgo County, they're sending it to everybody in application, regardless. Has that gone off already? Have the applications gone out, Judge and Cruz?
I don't know if they have, but they were approved, and at a great expense to the taxpayer. I'll add thousands of dollars to send applications to everybody that's 65 and older.
Do you know if how many? At what point can I'm assuming you're going to ask for either a daily record as to how many people are actually submitting these applications? Have people, sent out sent back the applications to get an actual mail ballot yet, or you haven't done that yet?
We haven't gotten that yet. The ballots actually just the sample ballots just came out on Thursday, I believe. So they're barely finished up the printing process recently.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I would encourage you, Cruz. Since you're on the ballot board, do you have any inside information on that stuff?
No, not yet. We've just discussed it, but nothing official yet. As a matter of fact, we don't even know whether the ballots are going to have to be reprinted because of the straight party order. I know that the AG is appealing that. I don't know whether he'll be successful or not, but this is like the ninth inning here. It's too late, really, and we've already spent all those thousands, or what I think it was $33,000, $43,000 in all this so far. If we got to put it in the trash and reprint them again, that's a double whammy.
And I think the order from Judge Marmolejo out of Laredo it applies only to the electronic in-person ballots, not the mail-in ballots.
That was my understanding as well.
Yeah.
Well,
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, because you don't have to. Her argument was for the straight ticket ballot was we don't want them waiting in line too long. Let's just let them vote straight ticket. That and also the fact that brown people are too confused. Cruz, what are your thoughts on that? You were not on the show. What are your thoughts on the fact that we are too confused?
Well, it is kind of offensive, isn't it? That they're treating border people, border citizens as children, that they must be the ballots must be dumbed down for us down here.
Yeah. And by the way, those of you that are watching us on this, actually, we have plenty of you all watching us right now. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to make a comment on the Facebook or on YouTube, and we'll be able to answer your questions. I haven't even asked you all to do that, but please do. Judge, how are you doing in your campaign? Any cool updates for your campaign that you want us to know?
I'm having a meet and greet this coming Saturday, and giving people an opportunity to register to vote. We'll have someone out there that will be registering people. So that's October 3rd at noon at Pollos Asados La Cabaña in Edinburgh. So it'll be an opportunity for mostly making sure that people get out and register to vote. The deadline is October 5th, so we want to make sure we get as many people as possible that haven't registered to go out there and enjoy a meal, get to meet me, and register to vote.
Judge,
we'll have some surprises.
Yeah, some prizes or surprise endorsements like John Cornyn.
There'll be some surprises on the campaign trail we're planning on for getting out the vote. So stay tuned. I won't reveal too much.
Okay, well, that don't reveal. John Cornyn was in Hidalgo County, Edinburgh yesterday, and he was so excited because he got all these endorsements from these Democrats that were office holders in the Valley. And I've been joking with some of my friends in Hidalgo County in the GOP saying, yeah, they only endorsed because they got the permission from Alonso Cantu. By any chance did any of these Democrats also endorse you, or they were just there to endorse the guy that gets a crap load of money from Alonso Cantu?
I did not get any endorsements from that list. I think I went through the whole thing, but I don't believe I've gotten endorsements from them. I know for sure some of them just flat out said they just can't get involved in my race.
Yeah, it is what it is.
You know,
it's what if they don't get a blessing from Don Alonso, they're not gonna do anything. And that's my big fight, Dylan. You're not from the Hidalgo County, and I don't live in Hidalgo County anymore. But my personal opinion about Hidalgo County politics is it's controlled by one person, and that's Alonso Cantu, and he gives a lot of money to Republicans. Like, who does he give money? Cruz, you're in the Hidalgo County GOP. Does he give money to the Hidalgo County GOP at all, or just particular Republicans?
I don't know about the GOP, but I know it's Governor Abbott, Patrick. That's their PACs.
Cover all your bases.
Huh?
Now cover all your bases and hedge your bets.
Well, no, but he's a big bundler for Democrats. He was a big bundler for John Edwards, big bundler for Hillary, big bundler for all these things. He's a multimillionaire. He has control of the Democratic Party, and you have big John Cornyn coming down to the Valley. He's like, "Ooh, I got the endorsement from all these Democrats." It's like, yeah, all the Democrats that are controlled by that particular individual. And I'm just thinking, I'm upset for you in Hidalgo County GOP when you have certain Republicans like, oh yeah, look, we got the endorsement. It's like, well, what about Judge Fonseca? What about Dr. Guerra or any of these other Republicans that are running? It's like, no, but he said it's okay to these people said it was okay to vote for GOP, and I'm like, yeah, one guy, and that guy doesn't make the GOP. I mean, you're trying to grow the party in Hidalgo County, right, Cruz? I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
As a matter of fact, that I don't know whether any one of us got invited. I didn't get invited to the shindig.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't? No. Well, they probably had a nice little big shindig fundraiser at Alonso Contu's house, or maybe at Bergen Arena somewhere. Maybe that's what that's what they were doing. Who knows? I have no idea. But
but not to defend the senator, but the silver lining is that at least there are people who identify as Democrat willing to come out and say that there is a good candidate on the Republican ticket.
Yeah.
So that's encouraging, and I know
it's a double-edged sword.
The way I see it is,
yeah,
it is.
I mean, look, and they only support John because they've seen the poll numbers. They know MJ Hager's not gonna. Hey, time to have that John's not gonna lose, so they want to make sure. Look, we support you, John. Look, help us out in the Valley so we get stuff. It's like, give me a break. I'm tired of. And this always happens with John Cornyn. It just him and Abbott are like the two worst when it comes to this. They come down here, they make their money from the Democrats, and they go back and they forget about the GOP in order to grow the GOP in the Valley. And especially in Hidalgo County where there's so many people potentially could become conservatives, and they don't care. They just don't care about making inroads in with conservatives. My personal opinion. I could be wrong. I don't want to get in trouble with Don Alonso.
When we win in November, I'll make sure to reach out to all of these Democrats on the list.
Sure. They're gonna go like, "Oh, we were supporting you the whole time. It was we voted for you." I mean, more people that voted for you than actually probably did vote for you. I'll tell you they voted for you. I'm curious about that particular court case we were talking about with Judge Manuel. Have you had a chance to read it, Dylan, at all? What are your thoughts? Since Judge Fonseca really should not comment on that particular court case, so I want to have the lawyer comment. Have you had a chance to read it?
Sorry, which one?
The Judge Manuel court case with the straight ticket voting. No. Okay. Yeah. Josh, we're going to talk Trump train next. Josh, how was the Trump train this weekend?
Trump train was amazing. We had another roughly 75 plus cars for it was a Trump train slash prayer train over in Port Isabel. It was in conjunction with the National Day of Prayer that Franklin Graham was doing up in Washington, D.C. And so what we did is since our folks like to drive in a Trump train. We took that concept and we drove around to the different churches in Port Isabel. And at each church, as you were driving by, there was a prayer focus for that location. So we ended up praying for the president and his family. We prayed for the Congress, our Supreme Court justices, and just different aspects of the government, and also for our country to look to God for wisdom in this upcoming election, and with everything that's going on in the state of our country. It was a really good time of prayer and fellowship together. And then after that, we had a good time. We went and had a meet and greet type of lunch over on the island together. So overall, everything went really well.
If I'm not mistaken, there was a video floating around, and I don't know if it was a video. Was there somebody that went publicly on I guess the microphone there in Port PI to tell people not to vote for Vanessa Tijerina?
I don't remember that, to be honest with you, Roman.
Was there anybody speaking with a microphone at all on a stage or some sort of there at
in PI? I don't believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember her name being brought up. I mean, if you want to send me the video, I'll take a look at it, but I don't remember that.
Yeah, there was a video floating around somewhere on Facebook saying that, don't vote for her, and there were some people booing the fact that they were like that she's a rhino or that not to vote for her. If I get a chance to, maybe we'll play that video maybe next time you're on, because if that was the case, I'm not really happy about that. There is no reason. I mean, she's not going to win, but I'm getting really frustrated with Republicans in Senatorial District 27 wasting their time and energy telling people, please don't vote for Vanessa Tijerina. She's not going to win. What are your thoughts, Cruz? You're in SC27. Do you agree with me on that?
Well, under the new Election Integrity Oversight Committee, they're supposed to be taking care of that for next time. Are they not?
I don't follow. I don't know what you're talking about.
You have a new SD Election Integrity Candidate Integrity Committee to do an oversight of whether candidates
can they legally do that?
What's that?
Can the state party legally do that? Keep somebody?
They can. I think they can do it. They just can't keep anybody off the ballot per se.
Right. And if
that makes sense.
SREC, it's not the GOP.
Hey, Sochi, okay. I don't really. Seriously, if somebody wants to run into Republican, they should be grateful if somebody wants to run into Republican, especially down here. But even then, she's not going to win. Yeah, you all don't have that in Hidalgo County, right?
No.
At all? Dylan, have you gone on any of these Trump trains over in Bexar County and in San Antonio you'd like to report on?
San Antonio is turning into another liberal hellhole, unfortunately. Thanks to our mayor. But no, they haven't done any of those around here. I keep hearing about in other towns, but we're not so fortunate.
Oh, there is. No, there is. Okay.
We'll send you some info, Dylan.
Yeah, we can actually. One of our frequent commenters, Mayra Gutierrez, is from Hidalgo County. She's from Latinos for Trump. She goes every Saturday night for the Trump train in San Antonio.
On
so
Sunday.
There is, and you go on Facebook. There's a San Antonio Trump train group, so you get information about their Trump trains. I know our friend Brandon Barrera, who's the former county chair in Clayburgh County. They have Trump trains every Sunday at 5 in Clayburgh County. I don't think any. Do they have one in Nueces County at all? Do you know, Dylan? Anybody?
Yeah, I've heard of some.
I think they've had some in Nueces County.
Yeah. When are y'all going to start doing them on Saturday in Brownsville, Josh?
Brownsville will be in 3 weeks. We'll start in Brownsville. The last 3 weeks will be all in Brownsville.
Because they haven't done any on Sundays anymore. I haven't heard of any Trump trains going on Sunday in Brownsville for like the last.
They've been doing some events that mainly Brownsville right now is to be taken care of by the Brownsville, Texas conservatives. So if you want to find out more about what's happening in Brownsville specifically right now, join their Facebook group.
Yeah, but I don't see anything. I don't hear anything. There's no activity. The Biden people are doing more people than they are. That's just
I don't know. I mean, I'm a member of that group just to stay in touch with their leadership. But as far as the planning and execution of events in Brownsville right now is handled strictly by Brownsville, Texas conservatives. So
they're about as innocuous and other people. Anyway, Judge, what are your thoughts on your race right now? Do you feel confident right now? Do you feel good about your race? Do you think you're going to be hurt?
Do.
Okay, cool. It's good. I want you to become confident. Dylan, you were thinking about running against Julian or Joaquin Castro at some point. Are you? What is anybody running against Joaquin Castro?
Yeah, there is.
Oh, really?
His name escapes me at the moment, but yeah, he is running against him. That's what they should. Joaquin has had apparently no appearances in Bexar County in quite some time, but he did manage to put up a few signs and thinks that should get him in, but not.
What's the breakdown in that district? Because we don't. I would like to have the Castro brothers not be in office anymore. Well, we have one of them.
60-40 Dem, something like that. I think that's relatively close.
It's a predominantly Hispanic district, or
Bexar County is.
Yeah. No, unfortunately. Manny, what's your next topic you have for us? Oh, Cruz.
I just want to say, if Bexar County would get out the vote, just go and vote. City elections are decided on average between 11 and 14% of registered voters. Santa people just don't vote.
Yeah.
It's very irritating. I mean, at least 20 to 30, 40% should go out there. And I believe, I bet you conservatives would win.
Well, put up Claudio's comment again, Manny, because I didn't get a chance to read it out. Claudio's comment. Unfortunately, Brownsville is more Democrat, but if you can give me the page of my family, and I would like to join Josh. Okay. Yeah, if you can post it, Josh, if you're on Facebook, post that link or whatever, so that Claudia can be able to see it.
Okay.
I had a question. I mean, going back to the Amy Barrett, as ugly as the Kavanaugh hearing got, and Amy seems to be squeaky clean, doing all the right things, her own children, adopted children. How ugly do you guys? How ugly? I mean, is it possible that they're going to make this as ugly as the Kavanaugh hearing?
Going to
I
try.
don't think so. I mean, they'll try. I think what they'll do what they'll try is just procedural tactics to delay the vote, or just to create chaos in the Senate. That's all that they can. That's all that they can do, really. I heard about a boycott by certain members. I don't know if they'll actually do that or not. I read that last night. But there are certain... Go ahead. Sorry.
Dick Blumenthal said he's not going to talk to her, and I think Mazie Hirono said the same thing. They're both boycott talking to her. I think they do this at their own peril. Back when the Kavanaugh hearing took place, I believe it was 4 Democrats lost their seats after they voted against him. And the one that voted for him actually kept the seat.
Yeah.
So they don't have anything, since they have nothing in their, as Pelosi loves to say, arrows in their quiver. They have nothing left.
Yeah.
They can't go out. Obviously, she didn't run a rape train like Kavanaugh was accused of. I'd be surprised if she ever had a drink. So that's not going to be an issue. But they're going to make this about her. I just saw that there was a tweet yesterday where some blue check was saying, well, how is she going to be a loving mother at the same time as being on SCOTUS? I guess it's the fourth wave feminism, where now we shame women back into the kitchen or something.
Oh,
So this is going. I think it's going to get ugly on different levels because they have nothing else. So they're going to go after her Catholicism again. They're going to go after her with this charge of racism for having adopted 2 black children from Haiti. Of course, glossing over the fact that the Clinton Foundation stole tens of millions of dollars from Haiti and their relief fund. I think Hillary tried to step into this issue and just got all kinds of blowback on Twitter about it.
I mean, even Bill Maher, the beloved Bill Maher,
that was terrible.
Yeah, and I think on the Hollywood level, they may come out and try and do things like this. Since at a hearing, it appears they've got nothing on her, and anything that they try to do, it's going to backfire before trying to hurt somebody who's legitimately, a good person.
And Roman, I also want to say, I think, pointing to what Manny was saying, it has the potential to backfire even more because of the fact that she checks all the boxes for evangelicals across the board, and only roughly 50% of evangelicals voted in 2016. So you're talking about in a powder keg that could eventually help not just the Supreme Court, but help Trump come November. So because she checks off all the bona fides, like Dylan was saying, when it comes to what evangelicals want in a conservative justice.
Particularly
I think it's going to be so absurd that it's just going to backfire on them.
I don't seem to recall these kinds of comments of Justice Scalia, and he had like a dozen children or something. When he was on.
That was also 1986, though, Roman. The country's changed so much since
then. Even then.
They did Bork. They did Thomas.
Yeah.
They have every single Republican nominee has gone through hell. Meanwhile, nothing gets said about Sotomayor or Kagan or even Ginsburg. I think her vote was unanimous, or it was a 3. I think 3.
Yeah, it was 97-3.
Yeah. So Democrats, even in this election cycle, they could have won if only they could just not be completely crazy, and they couldn't manage it.
Well, there was an interesting story. I don't know if I sent that to you, Manny. I texted it to you, a story from New York Times about the craziness that's happening in Minneapolis. Did you get that story, Manny?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's sorry. I need to charge that.
Sophia says, typical Democrats, all they have is politics of personal destruction.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Well, the thing is that the craziness that's happening in the Democrat Party nationally is it started off in Minneapolis with the BLM movement, and you had a lot of city councilmen saying we need to defund the police. And apparently now they've changed their mind about defunding the police. Like, what are your thoughts on that? You're a criminal attorney, Dylan. I saw on Twitter you're getting viciously attacked because you're a conservative and you're a criminal attorney. What are your thoughts on defunding the police?
They will get what they asked. Well, they got what they asked for. They got so they defunded the police. Massive spike in crime. Teenagers getting shot and killed all over the city. I think there were 5 in one ward alone, over just a few week period. It has turned into just a modern day hellscape. I mean, we are turning liberal Democrat run cities look worse than pick a city in a war zone. It has just evolved to the point where you can't run a business, you can't go out to eat, you can't drive down the street without getting yanked out of your car and beaten half to death, if you're lucky. Had Kyle Rittenhouse and that whole debacle. Things have just gotten completely nuts. And this is part of what happens when the Democrats thought that, oh, well, we hate Republicans and BLM and Antifa hate Republicans too. So we'll just join up and join forces and go after the Republicans. Problem is that once they let this demon out of the bottle, they're not going to be able to put them back in. And so I think they have really And I know, like, as someone, like Ben Shapiro was saying that he was getting secret texts from all of his Democrat friends fretting over, basically saying, what have we done? Because these people have gone completely insane. And there's no coming back. They have let they fund them to the tune of tens of millions of dollars. I know that Tucker Carlson just did a piece on who's funding BLM, and it was a bunch of some hedge fund manager. Of course, doesn't live anywhere near any of these cities where this is going on. But this whole defund the police movement is just nuts. And the ones who get hurt the most are the poor. So poor African Americans are going to get the shaft, as usual, by the decisions of Democrats who just don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, that seems to be the issue that Charles Barkley was saying on TNT, and I think Shaq was in agreement with him. But what I find interesting about this particular article is the words "in spirit." So the city council people that were defund the police, got to defund the police. Like, oh no, we didn't really mean that. It was we were just like in spirit, we're gonna do spirit dances and spirit moves or whatever, and make everything be hunky dory and be all unicorny. And now I don't understand. I mean, do you feel that there's a flip flop on these people? Anybody on the panel?
Of course, it's not flip flop on them. There's
Complete flip flop.
There's no way for it to go.
Well, it's absolutely shocking that this would happen.
Yeah.
I mean, what else do you expect?
Yeah, you look at what Giuliani did in New York City. He turned that place into the biggest, least violent, the least violent large city in America, and perhaps the world. And de Blasio, through this defund the police nonsense, has completely reversed all the gains.
Yeah.
And, my wife and I just went to New York City about 3 years ago and had a great time. And there's no chance on this earth I would ever go back until de Blasio and Cuomo are both gone and they have gotten control of their city. But they don't have control of their city. You got guys raping women in broad daylight, getting filmed by people with their iPhones. You have people getting released from jail. I think there was one guy got caught for robbing a bank, was arrested, released, and he robbed another bank, and it happened 4 or 5 times. So it's not just defund the police, it's this no cash bail nonsense that is putting rapists and murderers and just all kinds of terrible people right back out on the street. And the people are suffering. And that's why you're saying.
Yeah, the no cash bail thing that's a socialist Bernie thing, right? That's what he wants to do. The no cash bail thing.
Bernie, for all of his nonsense, Bernie never talked about defunding the police, as far as I remember.
No. But the no cash bail thing has something that I believe I would see on Bernie's website when he was running for president, and now it seems to be a thing within the Democratic Party.
Well, if it was before or not, it certainly is now. I think it's part of that 110-page manifesto that he signed with Biden. So it's no cash bail. They want to abolish prisons. They want to. I don't know what they think this is supposed to look like in the end, but I'm sure everyone's seen the memes on Facebook. Once the police are gone, there's no one left to protect you from us. The gun-toting conservatives with all of the veterans and whatnot. So.
Sophia.
This is not going to end well. One way or the other, it will end, but it's just going to be a nightmare.
Sophia is making the point: defund the police, we get a third world country, chaos and lawlessness. Look at our neighbors across the border, no law and order. Who do you call? Yeah. Exactly, Sophia. That's a very excellent point. Who do you call? Cruz sent us this link and wanted us to show us this. What is this, Cruz?
Well, it basically shows the millions of dollars that are flowing into BLM. The Democrats were using BLM as a cash cow / laundering conglomerate. So they were happy to let it go as long as the money flowed into BLM. BLM was just a front company, is just a front company. Those monies get trickled into the Democrat Party somehow.
Hmm.
Is there a
donate
list
to Black.
on this? There they are.
What is that?
It all goes to
That's
ActBlue.
a list of donors to BLM.
Okay, DoorDash is one of them, apparently, according to Daily Signal. Deckers, Amazon, or not shot by Amazon.
No,
Gatorade. Why Gatorade? Why would Gatorade want to donate to?
they're big with NFL.
Okay.
Yeah,
That
there's a
makes
sports connection there. Yeah.
Microsoft. They're so soft.
Yeah.
You got to stay hydrated when you're protesting.
There you go. Who is Glossier? I've never heard of them.
Skincare.
And then 23andMe. What is that?
A clothing company, I think.
23andMe is DNA.
Wait, why would a DNA company want to donate money to a BLM? What? That makes no sense.
I could say something and get into some serious trouble. So we'll just
Yeah, I know. Don't say it. Airbnb.
Yeah.
All right, I guess
Sure.
they want.
They went bankrupt.
Apparently,
Unilever.
wait, aren't they? They're not even from this country. Unilever. They're like, I thought they were from Germany for whatever reason.
BLM is global, so they're all over the place.
I don't know.
They're free, and they make bath soap.
A lot of Antifa owners could certainly use some bath soap.
Who is Bungie?
It's a
A video game developer.
game developer. Yeah.
Okay.
He made Halo.
The
Wow.
Bisco Ritz. Oh God.
Wow, I have so many of these companies in my pantry. I was eating Ritz just yesterday. I guess Dropbox.
Well, it's because of crackers. That's in the name. That's got to be it.
That has to be it. Actually,
Trying to make up for that.
Fitbit, Developer Digital. Who are they?
Yeah.
What else is there next? Who's the next company that's a Skillshare? Like I've never.
Square Enix. Yeah, I haven't heard of these.
Another game developer. Don't know what they're doing.
Why? Well, they're.
Antifa, I'm sure that a lot of their people play video games in their parents' basements.
That's true because they can't afford their own houses. Tinder. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
wonder
they
if there's
want-
an Antifa pick of Tinder. You can find other Antifa members and start dating them.
Right. Antifa.
'Cause nobody else would.
Hey, you want to go protest with me?
Okay, sure.
Swipe left.
Or
Is it right? I don't know. I'm just.
I don't even know any. Yeah, you're right. What is Antifa? Swipe left, swipe right. I have no clue. Okay, Atlantic Records.
Atlantic Records, Warner Brothers. I'll go a little quicker here. Discord. Machine Cat. Ubisoft.
Who are they? Okay. All right. I've never heard of the Daily Signal. Cruz, are they a reputable website?
They've been around for a while. I have not checked their credentials actually. So, as far as
We're just gonna blindly trust them because Thank goodness the Second Amendment is getting scary out there. Yeah, and Amy, Amazon, there goes my account then. I know. Well, I mean, they're massively liberal, Claudia. What did you expect?
Yeah,
They're like a massively liberal company. It's like you might as well just be giving it to the Washington Post.
Jeff Bezos is just doing that to get some protection against, because they're after him too. They showed up in front of his house with a guillotine. So I'm sure this is some attempt to get curry favor with these whack jobs, like throwing a bunch of money at them, hoping that they won't. This is all about trying to get the alligator to eat you last, and that's not going to happen. They will come for you at some point.
Yeah, Sochi is saying, what if some of these companies are supporting them because they're afraid to get blasted negatively by the media if they don't? That's exactly. I mean, wow, you and Sochi on the same break. Sochi was a debater, by the way. You were LD or CX. I think you were CX or Sochi, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so.
Well, it's amazing what people will do because of some Twitter randos out there. Because it's such a small percentage of the American people that actually have Twitter accounts, and then it's an even smaller percentage that are going to be liberal, and some portion of those, most of them are going to be completely made up. They are bots, and they just inundate these companies with Twitter messages, and that is somehow enough in these days to get people to fold.
Well,
And that's what they're doing in a lot of these cases. I can't imagine that some Square Enix, their biggest thing is Final Fantasy series. What they have to do, and they're Japanese in origin, so I don't know what the connection is.
not. Well,
But-
so Claudia's
but
going to get her Tinder account. That's what she said.
ELM is a money laundering operation for the DNC. I think that's how Biden has walked away with, what did he get last month? Like $350 million or some ridiculous
Yeah.
number.
Was
This is where it's
insane.
coming from. It's right here. This is it.
I believe that. I do believe that. That is an insane. They over $250 million since the death of RBG. That is insane. The amount of money that they got.
I don't know where this money coming from. I mean, most of these people are supposed to be unemployed. I believe there was some. They looked into who are the donors, and a whole bunch of them are unemployed people. Where are they getting all this money?
Wow. Vendors, receipts,
It's all
account.
corporate. All
Yeah,
this
and
corporate.
you know that's troubling for me because you have Lindsey Graham's been on Fox News pretty much every single day, begging for money because his opponent's getting so much money. Do you think that money's going to play a role in some of these more red races, like Lindsey Graham? Do you think Lindsey Graham is vulnerable? Anybody?
Under ordinary circumstances, yes, he would be. But we are not in ordinary circumstances. As I said earlier, to win, the Democrats only had to not be completely crazy, and they couldn't help it.
Yeah, that
And
makes
I
sense.
think this, so ACB is going to help. I think that Hillary outspent Trump by $1 billion.
Yeah.
That didn't help. I know money gets you a long way, but at the end of the day, it's still one side actually wants to have law and order, and the other one wants to feed you to the wolves.
Yeah. Well, we're already been gone for an hour. We usually only do a show for about an hour. Soros money. Oh, yeah. Let's not talk about that. Well,
I'll get you in trouble on Fox now.
we'll get you in trouble. We don't want to get in trouble with Soros at all. Anyway, tomorrow, who do we have on the show tomorrow, Manny?
Tomorrow we've got Jack Garcia, candidate for San Benito CISD.
Okay. And then Tuesday night, we have the presidential election.
Debate.
Election debate. I really like it.
I know you wish it was Tuesday, but you got to
No,
wait.
it's not. We have the debate on Tuesday. Our plan, Manny, is to start at 7. I think is at 7 o'clock to do the pregame for it. We'll cover and what our thoughts and what we think is going to happen and the news of the day kind of stuff ready for the debate. We will have the debate. We'll stream the debate here, right, Manny? That's what we're going to do. And maybe sort of make comments while the debate's happening, potentially, maybe not. And then as soon as the debate is over, we're going to have a crew of us, commenting on what we thought of the debate. Dylan, hopefully you can join us for that over in San Antonio. I'd love to have your comments on the debate. Sochi, it's going to be a great debate. It is going to be a fun debate. Hopefully it'll be a fun debate for both sides, more preferably for President Trump. And so we'll be doing that, and we'll go on as long as we feel like we want to go on Tuesday night. So make sure y'all are ready. I don't think we'll play a drinking game. Who knows? Hopefully we'll have Myra from Latinos for Trump on. Judge, I don't know if you want to come for that. Yeah, we're going to stream it here most definitely, Sochi. I don't know if you want to comment for that one, Judge, or maybe not.
I'll watch.
You'll watch. Okay, that's a good
I'll
idea.
definitely be watching.
Yo, I don't want you to get in trouble with anybody by making comments. But anyway, that's our plan for Tuesday. And then Wednesday, we'll have a Brownsville ISD candidate. Arhelia Miller is supposed to be with us on Wednesday. And on Thursday, we don't know yet. And the reason we don't know yet is because RioPolitics has been asked by 2 Texas Southmost College trustee candidates to host a debate. Unfortunately, it's a 3-person race. and we can't get a hold of the third person to potentially want to do a debate, or I messaged her like 2 weeks ago to maybe come on the show. She's not responded at all, as far as I can tell. I haven't received a phone call or anything, Manny. I don't think you've received a phone call from her. So if anybody knows Alejandra Andrete, let her know that her 2 opponents want us to host a debate, and we want to host a debate. Hopefully she can come on. This isn't to shame her to come on, but if your 2 opponents want to debate, we should have a debate. So we don't know if that'll happen this week for the debate, but most definitely soon. If Ms. Aldrete doesn't respond to us and to host it, then we'll then just have a debate between, I guess, her 2 opponents. But I'd prefer it to be that, and maybe we'll do that Thursday. Who knows? But at least you'll have an idea. So thanks for joining us today. Thanks, Dylan, for coming. We'll see you Tuesday. Josh, thanks.
Can I make a quick announcement, Roman?
Yeah, sure, Josh.
Yeah. So this coming weekend, Cameron County Conservatives, in conjunction with Latinos for Trump and the Claybrook GOP, we're having a 3-county-wide Back to Badge event. If you would like to help us in that endeavor, it's where we're going to serve a meal to some of our Border Patrol and first responders. If you would like to help with that, please go to our page and click on the link, and you can donate. And we more than appreciate anybody's help.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
The
So
Cameron
that's
Conservatives on Facebook.
Is that your like page that you now created for some reason?
You can go to either page.
Okay. And apparently now you have to do a like page, which I don't know why you all do the like page.
I'll explain it.
Okay, no worries. Anyway, well, thanks, Cloud. Thanks for joining us. So we'll definitely see you all tomorrow, hopefully at 7:30. If not, definitely on Tuesday for the debate. So thanks for joining us, guys. Oh, Cruz, thanks for joining us, Cruz. God bless y'all. Good night.
Good night, everyone.